Hello, I'm Dr. Sharon Norling, and this is Ask Your Doctor on the Asheville View. I get a lot of questions, and one of the questions that I got, which was interesting to me, and I thought I'm just going to talk about, it's not my question, I mean, like, I didn't say this, but a patient said to me, I have 2 boyfriends, and I love them both, and I really want to keep seeing both of them. I know you'll understand. But do I need to tell my other doctors this? Well, those are all great questions. And first of all, I know patients who have had 2 boyfriends, 3 boyfriends, or 4 boyfriends. And they're not in an exclusive relationship. They're not in a committed relationship. And they choose to have their social life and their sexual life, sharing it with multiple partners. And that's always a personal choice. It's really important, though, to ask the right questions before you engage in sexual activity, even with one male, or female for that matter. Do they have any herpes, gonorrhea, condylomas, syphilis, HIV? People say, well, do you think they'll really answer that question honestly? And I'm sure there's some that don't. But I've heard patients say, you know, they did tell me about they had herpes, or they did tell me that they'd had gonorrhea in college. So it's at least an important discussion to bring up, because you need to keep yourself safe and without diseases. Because we know that Alzheimer's is now also caused by infections, particularly HIV, and herpes have been tested. So those are things that we need to really look at in the future. But if you're choosing to be with more than one partner, that's something you need to check. We know that the highest rate of some sexual diseases are now in postmenopausal women. It's not in the teenagers or the college students necessarily, but the fastest growing rate is menopausal women. And we used to think, honestly, is there sex after the menopause? I asked that question one time in a teaching moment, and someone said, well, is there sex before the menopause? And it's interesting that the term menopause has men in it, menopause. You don't see that with andropause. You don't see womenopause, okay? There's some discrepancies going on that still need correction. At any rate, so a woman is with more than one partner. It's their choice, but you have to be safe. So always look for those questions to be answered, because it's your life. I also want to say that when you are using lubricant, because especially if you're menopausal and you're not on hormone replacement therapy, and that's another topic which is really important. If you're menopausal, you should really consider being on bioidentical hormone replacement therapy. Otherwise, your vagina gets dry like the Sahara Desert. It doesn't distend anymore. It's fragile, and it's painful on intercourse. And you don't want cobwebs, you know, in your vagina. You want to be sexually active. So using estrogen replacement therapy is not only for your vagina, but it's also for your brain and your heart and your bones. It really helps women live longer and healthier. But discuss that with your doctor. If you're using a lubricant, and think about it, KY jelly, lubricants, they're made out of petroleum jelly. Would you put gasoline in your vagina or on your penis? No, you wouldn't use petroleum products on your private organs, your pelvis. So there is another product, and look for these products that do not have parabens in there. Parabens have actually been shown to develop cancer, that they don't have glycines in them or petroleum jelly, that they're GMO and they're gluten-free. So even if you have a gluten sensitivity, that's not going to bother you if you're using particular safe lubricants. It should be free of dyes and sulfates. And it should be 100% edible, and it should be vegan, because it just gives you a whole new range of people you can be with. Because if you're with a vegan and that isn't a fit for your lubricant, then there are lubricants out on the market that are a fit. So this is Dr. Sharon Norling, and I want to say you deserve to have your best life. You deserve to have your best sexual life. This is Ask Your Doctor, and this is the Asheville View.
Okay, let's see. Got paper. More paper. Cardboard. Glass. More cardboard. And more glass. And trash.
My husband, Raph, is the recycling sergeant.
My name is Raph, and I am the recycling sergeant of this household. I'm very vigilant about putting things in the proper bins.
Some places don't take things unless they're clean or if they're not done properly.
The glass and the glass, the paper and cardboard and aluminum.
But I think that would just give more people jobs. So we should just hire people to do that because I don't have time for that. You know I'm not about to help you with no recycling. It's not my job to recycle every day. It's not something that I need to keep at the forefront of my mind all the time.
I do feel good about recycling, and particularly because I grew up with well water, and well water is groundwater, and groundwater takes on whatever you put in the ground, and I'd rather not drink that stuff.
Are you ready?
Yeah, hold on just a second. You gonna help with this?
I just want to go on one date that doesn't involve starting with the freaking dump.
It's a pre-date.
But you already cheated me and told me that the dump was a date one time.
I have told my wife that these are pre-dates because we usually have an actual date on a Saturday, but we still have to recycle our stuff before we go out and do whatever it is we're gonna do. Come on, babe, it's the environment. You know how much plastic ends up in the ocean?
Oh my gosh, you're always like, it's the environment. Like, what about lunch? I really don't know why it's a big deal that we get it out on Saturday, being that the dump is open 5 days a week and he could go, or 6 days a week. He could go anytime. I think he just does it to drive me crazy. Can't you take that on Monday?
It's a big deal to get out on Saturdays because I work weekdays, Monday through Friday, and I don't particularly have the time to go before I go to work. Cardboard.
It's not that I don't care about recycling.
Come on.
No.
It's the environment.
I don't care. I do care about recycling. I reuse my plastic bags. I try to buy items that don't harm the environment. I try to grow food. I care about recycling. Where does this go?
Paper. It goes right here.
And the cardboard too?
Also, yes.
It is just that I'm not a recycling sergeant.
If anything, it's a minor annoyance.
What? Do you think I'm about to do all of that when I have to throw something away?
Yes, I am the boss of the recycling in the house.
I never know where to put the stuff because I asked you to put the labels and then give me examples.
I'm Rafrika Adams.
And I'm Aisha Adams.
And we challenge you to flip your lid.